Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and welcome to what I am going to start calling a cinematic intermission as I bring to you my 28th, or part 28 of my horror movie collection. So I've got 10 films here today, and so let's go ahead and get underway. First up, from, I'm not sure what year this was made, I can't remember, 1990. From 1990, I've got Misery. And this, of course, starred Kathy Bates, James Caan. And of course, if you've read Misery, you know it's based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, and you know it's about the the writer Paul Sheldon. His car crashes. He's rescued by this woman Annie Wilkes, who turns out to be his #1 fan. And yeah, it doesn't go well for him. Let's just put it that way, okay? I have to say, there's one scene in this movie, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I just say it involves a sledgehammer and a block of wood. It has to be probably one of the most cringe-inducing scenes of any horror movie I think I have ever seen. The first time you see it, you're not expecting it, and it just comes out of nowhere. And again, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen this movie, but if you have not seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to experience it on your own, okay? But you will cringe. And then if you watch it a second time and you know what is coming, you're going to turn your head before you see it happen. All right, anyway, that is Misery, based on the novel by Stephen King, directed by Rob Reiner. All right, got another Stephen King movie here. We got The Mist. And you talk about a movie that has one of the most downer endings of any movie I have ever seen in my life. Oh, good grief. Anyway, The Mist, what it is about is this group of people that, I believe it's in Maine, they get holed up in this grocery store, and there's this mist that is just rolling in over the town, over everything, and there are these creatures, these very Lovecraftian creatures in the mist, and they're way bigger than us, they're way deadlier than we are. Anyway, everything just breaks down in the grocery store. You got one woman that is saying that it's Judgment Day. You got people taking sides against each other and stuff. This is an excellent Stephen King movie. Actually, probably one of the best Stephen King adaptations. This was directed by Frank Darabont, who also directed The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption. So yeah, you can't go wrong with this cast. And Thomas Jane is in this, and he is fantastic in this role. What year did this come out? I cannot remember. I never know the years of movies. I'm bad about that. I wish I was better about it. I'm not sure. I don't see it. I believe it was in the early 2000s. I may be wrong, though. I am probably very wrong about that. But anyway, that is The Mist. All right. All right, so next up we got one that stars the incomparable, the in-whateverable Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair, and this is Mom and Dad. And this may be one of Selma Blair's last films that she did. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, so I'm not sure how her career is going to go with that. I hope she is able to make some kind of comeback or whatever, because I think she's a very talented actress, if you ask me. Mom and Dad, though, is basically what it is something, it doesn't really, I don't think it really explains what happens, but something causes the parents to go nuts and try to kill their children. Okay, that's the premise of it. That is the premise of Mom and Dad. It's a pretty neat little movie. I've watched it once. I need to give it another watch. I enjoyed it. It was a nice little, cool little film. So yeah, Mom and Dad. All right, next up we have got Monster Brawl. And this is literally exactly what it says it is. It is the WWE meets monsters. You know, just think the WWE meets Universal Monsters, and you've got the premise for this movie. It stars Dave Foley from The Kids in the Hall, Art Hindle, he's been in a lot of films, Robert Millay, I believe his name is, Jimmy Hart, yes, that is the Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart from the WWE, Lance Hendrickson, and again from WWE and WCW, Kevin Nash. Yeah, this is a strange freaking movie. Yeah, I mean, literally. Held in a secret graveyard on cursed soil, the Monster Brawl is the ultimate collection of legendary monsters and undead ghouls. You've never seen extreme sports like this as creatures from around the world converge in a no-holds-barred battle to the death and beyond. Dave Foley and Art Hindle from Black Christmas. Yeah, we go. That's it. Black Christmas. MC is the Mummy, Cyclops, Frankenstein, Lady Vampire, Swamp Gut, and other forces of darkness pummel each other into the netherworld. Also featuring WWE wrestlers Robert Mallet from the movie 300. I still can't think who this guy is. And Kevin Nash along with UFC ref Herb Dean and narration by horror favorite Lance Henriksen. This is the greatest monster match of all time. That is a Monster Brawl. Alright, I got a remake here. I don't have the original film of this one. I don't know if it's how hard it is to find or not, but this is the remake of Mother's Day. And this stars Rebecca De Mornay. Who else is in this? Brianna Evigan, Jamie King, Sean Ashmore. He's been in a lot of horror movies. Sean Ashmore, Deborah Ann Wool from Daredevil and True Blood. But yeah, this is a remake of the movie Mother's Day. And this is definitely a mother that you want on your side because she is deadly. Alright. Okay, next up we got one for the conspiracy theorists. We got the Mothman Prophecies. All your cryptozoologists, all your conspiracy theorists out there. This stars Richard Gere and Laura Linney. This is actually one of my favorite films. It is just a slow burn of a movie, but it's just got this creep factor to it that I really enjoyed. Anyway, if you don't know about the Mothman, is this cryptozoological creature from Point Pleasant, Virginia. Is it Point Pleasant, West Virginia, or Virginia? I think it is Virginia. Yes, I believe so. And it's supposedly been linked to this bridge collapse that happened in that town in Point Pleasant, and it killed like 30, 40 people, maybe more. And Mothman has been kind of offhandedly blamed for that sort of thing. But yeah, this is also based on the book by John Keel, and Richard Gere, he plays Keel in the movie. So it's a pretty good little movie, yeah. The Mothman Prophecies. Alright, what would my collection be without at least one movie from the After Dark Horror Fest? And this is from the very first After Dark Horror Fest, the 8 Films to Die For, and this is Mulberry Street. And this is about mutant rats in New York City. I think it's about this one apartment complex that is besieged by these things. I've only watched this movie once. I need to give it another watch. Alright? This was directed by Jim Mickle, and it's, of course, starred Nick D'Amici because those two work hand in hand together on everything, you know, from Stakeland. I believe Mickle also directed Late Phases, things like that. So the two of them work together a lot, you know, not only with writing and acting, but also with directing and all that stuff too, you know. Yeah, the city that never sleeps may shut its eyes for good when a deadly infection turns its residents to savage creatures. There is only hope for a small few, including 6 recently evicted tenants who must protect their crumbling apartment complex as the city around them is thrown into chaos. Yeah, so there is that also. So that is Mulberry Street. Alright, so I got the original and I got the remake of My Bloody Valentine. There is the original. That's a cheap looking cover. I don't like that cover at all. But yeah, it's about that guy, the coal miner. And, of course, My Bloody Valentine takes place around Valentine's Day. Again, this is one of the movies, I don't think I've seen the original. I don't remember if I watched the original, which is really weird because I've got the original, so you would think I would have watched the original, but I haven't. Anyway, on Valentine's Day, someone always loses their heart. 20 years ago, this small town lost more than that. When supervisors abandoned their post to attend the town's annual holiday dance, a tragedy claimed the lives of 5 miners. The sole survivor, Harry Warden, was institutionalized but returned for a vengeful massacre on the disaster's first anniversary. 19 years later, the town is gearing up for another Valentine's party. Teen sweethearts TJ, Paul Kelman, and Sarah, Laurie Hallier, and their friend Axel, Neil Affleck, one of these in relation to Ben Affleck, probably is, somewhere or another, are among the excited partygoers. But when a box of candy containing an eerie warning and blood-soaked heart arrive, the townsfolk realize that romance is as good as dead, and so are they. That is my Bloody Valentine. And again, I've got the remake, and the remake starred Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean Winchester on the series Supernatural. And this is one of two movies that the two brothers on the show, Sam and Dean, Dean being Jensen Ackles and Sam being Jared Padalecki. This is one of the two remakes they were in. The other one was, of course, Padalecki starring in the remake of Friday the 13th, which was okay. And again, this one too was it was okay. That's all I can say about it. Okay, I mean it's not great, it's not bad. It's just there. Same plot, pretty much the same plot as the other as the original. So there you go. All right, last but not least, I've got one of, to me, this is one of the finest vampire movies ever made. It is a vampire movie. It is also a Western, a neo-Western. It is a modern-day Western. I'm talking about Near Dark. And this was directed by Catherine Bigelow. And yes, the same Catherine Bigelow that directed The Hurt Locker. And it stars Bill Paxton, the late Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, man. What a hell of an actor. Let's see, Lance Henriksen. It's kind of an Aliens. It was kind of an Aliens reunion for these actors, because you had Bill Paxton, of course, played Hudson in Aliens. You had Jeanette Goldstein played Vasquez, and you got Lance Henriksen, who of course played the android Bishop in Aliens. It also stars Jenny Wright and the kid. I can't remember. I don't know who the kid is that played in this movie. And Tim Thomerson. And Thomerson, man, he's kind of like a legend in horror movie circles too. You know, really reliable actor. But it's about this fella, Caleb, and he runs into this girl. I can't remember her name, man. Good grief. I cannot think of her name, but she bites him. I mean, that's what she does. She bites him, and he starts slowly turning into a vampire, and he is taken by her family, so to speak, and they are a nomadic group of vampires that travel from place to place. They drive this I believe some motorhome they drive, and just go across the country. The windows are blacked out on it. But it is a hell of a vampire movie. If you have not seen Near Dark, by any means, check out Near Dark. I'm sure it's on streaming services somewhere. If you can get a copy of it like I've got, then pick up a copy, because it's fantastic. All right. Anyway, that is going to do it for part 28 of my horror movie collection. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, I try to do these things once a month so I can do more book stuff in between. I've also got a little musical thing that I do once a month. Again, so I can do, these are kind of side projects, little pet projects, if you want to say. But I enjoy doing them, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them. So thank you, and good night.